Yes! We've done it! We've got 3 wins on the bounce in the course of 6 days. That is massive. Obviously, there's loads of teams in the table that have got games in hand over us, but we are doing what we can with the games in front of us, and that is all that matters. It's finished. Stoke City 1, Watford 2. Come on, people. You just love to see it. It sets you up for the weekend. It's beautiful. We've done it on a Friday night in Stoke. The old football classic conundrum. The classic phrase, and we've done it. Not an easy game, it's got to be said, but we did it. Just about. And you've got to say, I think there's more to come from us. I think there is more to come from us. Performances can be better than that. Our squad is better than that in terms of some players still coming back and some players can play better than that. But we're getting job done. We're getting jobs over the line. We're getting games over the line. And that is massive. We are currently 3rd, but we are same points as Swansea. Goal difference is slightly less, but we're breathing down our opponent's necks, which is massive. Psychologically massive. So I'll mention a little bit of that first half, just in case you didn't watch my first half review. If you didn't, I'll put it down in the description below to check it out. Basically, the performance from first half to second half, I feel like this is deja vu all over again, but it was completely different. It was such a change in attitude. First half, we were just so lethargic, and defensively, we were just so slow getting back. Messina, Sarr, not tracking back, and we just really didn't have an any attacking quality going forward, and really we were second best in that first half, really getting lucky, picking up scraps, and giving the ball away all the time. The only man that was really doing it for us in that first half was Tom Cleverley. He got an unfortunate injury in the second half, but he recovered from it, and we basically took off some midfielders, brought on some defenders to see out the result. But in that second half, it was just lovely stuff. I mean, it's amazing. So first of all, Daniel Backman. He's come in and he's just done his job. I mean, you know, couldn't get the clean sheet today, which is a shame, but it was still a tough game against Stoke, so we'll let him off. But what an absolute excellent save by the goalkeepers to deny Joe Allen. The ball in, can I just say, from Powell was absolutely perfect. He measured it really well, and we were on the back foot, really in trouble. And Backman comes out with a clutch save. Really, really good. And then, of course, we get our penalty, and it's a stonewall penalty. It's maybe against the run of play. I don't know how you see it, but in the second half, we just looked more threatening going forward, and we seemed to have our mojo back. I mean, well done to Shishko, because his halftime talks must be so effective. And it was basically a shot from Sarr that fell to him, and you thought, go on, Sarr. And he kind of poked it, and didn't get the power in it, but it was saved from close range. And then Pedro, love that from Pedro, absolutely brilliant. Sniffing out the opportunity and getting the assist, and basically saw the ball broke from the save and charged out to it, got there, and just took it past the goalie, and the goalie swiped his legs, stonewall penalty, and, you know, it's really, really good from Pedro. And Bursic really did have a bit of a nightmare there because he didn't get the ball. But then, up steps Troy Deeney, and he's done it so many times this season. Watford legend, Watford captain, and he just loves the penalty. You just can always trust him with that, and he always smashes it pretty much down the middle. Today was a little bit more towards the left, and I loved how he just, you know, stuck in the rebound just to rub salt in the wounds. He is a brilliant Watford player, and on to 139 goals now for the club. Only 11 to go until he gets the 150, but he's brilliant, and got the really massive goal in this game to turn the tide. And then we go and do a little bit of a smash and grab, but it's an absolutely brilliant goal because we get our second in quick succession. I mean, this is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, in terms of that Deeney penalty, you could say it kind of is becoming this season now. He's at it again. He's Mr. Reliable from the spot, and he doesn't have enough mobility to get many chances for himself because he's 32. Like, you got to give the lad a chance. but he really knows how to stick away a penalty, and sometimes it's worth having him on the pitch just because of that. But he kind of, maybe you could say, is our get out of jail card. When we're not playing well, we can always rely on him to stick it away and get us in the lead. But the main thing is, we reacted like absolute tigers. We were clinical. We punished Stoke. And what great play from Troy Deeney. That is just so nice and reminiscent of the link-up that we've seen in previous seasons with Sarr and Deeney, with the little slip-through pass. And that is an absolutely wonderful finish. What a strike from Ismaila Sarr. Just to absolutely take the game away from Stoke, and a lovely assist from Troy. And you could say smash and grab win, perhaps, because Stoke in the first half were the better team, but we just looked more of a threat, and we looked like the squad that our team is really in the second half in terms of the quality that we showed in terms of our attacking. The two goals so close together is a really big effect in the game. And perhaps it was a bit smash and grab, but Troy had a great role to play in both of those goals. And the second just showed the class and the clinical nature of Ismaila Sarr and why we paid the big bucks for him as our record signing. It's a brilliant finish because he takes it across goal. So he's always got to hit it with the right amount of power. And he just hits it too quickly for the goalkeeper to react. And really, Bursik's got no chance because he kind of stretches out at the angle, but it just loops over that angle and gets into that bottom corner across goal. Lovely stuff, and lovely to see another Sarr smile. He's starting to enjoy his time at Watford a bit more. In previous games, maybe a little bit sluggish, a little bit dejected when he wouldn't get a ball into the box or he would, get fouled all the time. But he's taking on players this time, and he's actually taking on shots, and when he scores you can really see the joy coming out of him, so that's really good to see. He's settled in now at Watford. Well, I say settled in now, he's obviously been at the club for a while, but he has had a few things of, and I think maybe the kind of player he is, he feels like he should be at a bigger club maybe, so there's a little bit of that going on. And obviously they had the slight fallout with Pedro, but that was all a small little thing really, and they just were being competitive for the team really. But great to see him back at it and scoring an absolutely brilliant goal. So yeah, very, very good. The game at that point, you're thinking, okay, we can see this out now. This is looking quite tidy. This is looking quite comfortable. And then it took a bit of a turn, it's got to be said. And the substitution, fair play to Michael O'Neill. He made a very good substitution. Bringing on Stephen Fletcher, who scored in the reverse fixture with a near post finish from a whipped ball in, and it's a decent finish. To be fair, it's a decent finish, but it's a shame because Cathcart, he's an absolute legend for this club, and maybe he just misjudges it a little bit. But I still think he was decent when he came on. Cathcart, it was unfortunate at the time he came on, and then we pretty much conceded after that, but. It was a ball in, and basically they threaded it over the top and clipped it to Fletcher, and he kind of just prodded it past Daniel Bachmann, who'd come out to try and smother it, and Messina was trying to clear it before it trickled in, but he scored it, did the striker, and that was a real kick in the teeth, because when your game is slightly, as I said in the first half, we were really, really poor, and we change our attitude. When you have that lovely cushion that you make for yourself just through clinical finishing, that goal you concede is a real block to the system, and you think, right, we need to really be careful and defend here, because it was a sort of game Stoke could have come back and drawn 2-2. I did predict 2-2 in this game, and luckily I was wrong because we get our third win on the bounce. But the battle was really on from that point after that goal from Fletcher to stay ahead in the game, and Thank goodness that the ball in to Powell, and thank goodness he didn't wrap his foot around it, because he had a chance where if he just gets in front of it and gets his foot around it, he really can test Bachmann, and he kind of just skewed it wide. And then the last minute chance when we were just piling on the defenders to try and see out the game. We brought on Wilmot. I don't know why we brought on Gray, maybe just to give him a run out, but I thought Pedro had a decent game, winning the penalty. And as my captain of my fantasy team, will take that. But obviously we've got another game in this game week against Millwall on Tuesday that I'll, of course, once again be doing my match report of. But yeah, the chance at the end for Harry Sarr, is it Sordar or Sortar? I don't know. Or Sutar, I think Sutar, Harry Sutar. The ball in, can I just say, was really, really good. But that was the kind of ball we didn't want to see. A good delivery that was really on the money. And all the Watford defenders, like Ngaki went up to block it and it went past him. All the Watford defenders were just literally looking as the ball went across and just praying it didn't fall to one of their men. And it comes to Sutar at the back post and Messina. I was worried because he got out-climbed, he got out-muscled. But as the commentator correctly pointed out, he just slightly backed into him enough to know you're not going to get ahead of me enough to actually get a header on goal. And therefore, he kind of got, slightly shuffled out of it. So it was in a way good defending, but he kind of had his back to him and saw him out a little bit. So that was nervy, but it was enough. And we got the result in the end of the day. And that was the key thing today, really. I know we've done this a lot this season, getting results over the line. It's not been pretty at times, but that Sarr goal was very pretty. But the point is, we've got 3 wins on the bounce. That momentum is so big for a team that's trying to chase promotion. And with all these teams in the league having games in hand, obviously it's not ideal because you'd say that the other teams are, feeling like they have a bit of a advantage over you with those games in hand. But at the end of the day, if you have your games, all that you can do is just take them and do your best in them. And we've got 3 on the bounce now, which is going to give the squad so much confidence. Now, it's obviously interesting because in that first half, we should have had a pen. It's one of the most stonewall penalty decisions I've ever seen. And how the officials missed it, I literally do not know. Messina getting absolutely hugged and then hauled down to the ground by Norrington Davies. And how the referee or the linesman doesn't see it, I don't know. But the point is, we kind of got our justice back because we got the penalty in the second half. Deeney delivered it in his emphatic style once again. And he is just so good. And Sarr is our player that, along with Pedro, is our star player, you'd say, that can make something out of nothing. And that really was a brilliant strike. So I think I have to give man of the match to Troy Deeney today. His just effect on the game. He really led from the line, from led by example, and just great contribution for both goals. So it's a massive win. Get in.